Human rights. We talk every human, every person that is born, they have certain rights. They have certain inalienable rights. The right to life. No one should deprive you of your life. You have a right to your nationality. No one should deprive you of your nationality. You have a right to privacy. You have a right not to be. You have a right to liberty and movement of person. You have a right to free speech. But all these rights are not absolute, meaning that even though you may have a right to privacy or a right to gather and associate, you do not have a right to break the law.
In light of the upcoming Human Rights Day celebrated on October 23rd, Mizik discussed some of the most common human rights issues that the Turks and Caicos Islands face today, which according to her are labor issues, complaints being filed by either employees to employer or vice versa. However, this year the focus of Human Rights Day will be on the youth of the TCI.
Yes, we're going to observe Human Rights Day on the 23rd of October, next week, Friday, but in an effort to really highlight the rights of the child. That is going to be our focus for this year. And we're starting off with a series of events to highlight that most important convention. Actually, it's going to be the 20th anniversary of the rights of the child, and we adopted that convention in 1993.
Mizik went into detail about the protection of children's rights here in the Turks and Caicos, stating that child abuse does occur in the country.
Of course we have child abuse problems here in our country. We only need to listen to your news at times and we hear of young children being raped, young children being sexually molested, young children even being killed, young people. So I think out of the concern of bringing awareness, because a lot of times in our country we aren't as open as we ought to be when we're talking about things that are uncomfortable. We don't want to hear about a child who's been sexually abused or molested by the father or grandfather or uncle, and vice versa, because we have children who are not cared for. They are left alone a lot of times, the lack of parental guidance, lack of parental supervision, and all of this can be categorized as abuse.
She also told News 4 that there will be events next week to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the rights of the child, planned by her department as well as the new non-government organization, Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Association, or CAPA.
Well, I must pause to say the Human Rights Commission is not a non-government organization. It is a quasi-government organization. Actually, as it stands right now, it's under a ministry. So as far as I know, there aren't very many NGO human rights organizations out here in the community. I think it's past due, though. There ought to be groups getting together with a focus on rights and human rights. I encourage this, actually. I implore this, because the TCI Human Rights Commission is the body that is vested with the power, and it's vested with the power simply by its ordinance to promote and protect human rights throughout the country.
Activities planned for the big day will be all about the youth, according to Mizik, but parents are asked and encouraged to participate with their kids. The event will kick off on October 18th with an ecumenical church service. This will be followed by the TCI Cadet Corps service put on by Inspector Hilton Duncan. On Human Rights Day next week, Friday on October 23rd, there will be a Human Rights March from the First Caribbean Bank to the Edward C. Garland Youth Center, where speeches and activities will take place for children. For WIV4 News, I'm Allison Capron.